St. Joe's has impacted every one of the students that walk through the doors every day for the last 61 years. I've seen how it's impacted my two boys. I've seen firsthand how it's impacted my husband, who's a proud graduate of St. Joe's. The teachers here are just phenomenal. They give 110% of themselves to each and every student here. They don't only guide them academically, but spiritually and emotionally. And emotionally has been such an important part the last 14 months with the pandemic going on. They also do, St. Joe's has this way of building strong connections with everyone that walks through this door. And those strong connections is what makes kids feel comfortable and safe and want to do their very best and to think outside the box and come out of their comfort zone and be risk takers. So from my own kids and their successes and from their friends, St. Joe's has really impacted every child that's walked through those doors.
Well, I think it's a great, not only educational community, but just in general, a great community. I think the school impacts students in many ways, inside the classroom and outside of the classroom, helping them to grow and prepare for life and overall just being a great mission.
Seeing them walk in as little tiny 8th grade people and then watching them walk across the church to get their diploma is next level, but you really see it when they come back. You really see it when those students are in their 20s and you see that maybe a little punky kid came in my door as a freshman and now they're on their way to be a lawyer or they're on their way to a big career, and they just talk about, oh, you remember that thing you did freshman year? I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but the fact that they do, it means the world.
I've seen the impact on students when a lot of my students have actually come back to me and have thanked me for what we've taught them and what we've instilled in them. I think a lot of our students, while they see the real world in a lot of ways, I think that there's other parts of the real world they don't understand, and I think it's those parts that we teach them that they then kind of later on, there's that light bulb that goes off and there's that click. And when that click happens, they're like, now I remember back to whatever class that was that Mr. or Mrs. whoever was talking. So I think that we get them ready for the real world in a way that a lot of other schools do not.
It's my 14th year here, and I think just from start to finish, besides the books, of course, and the academics that our students leave here, they just walk away with an experience that is incomparable that they get from any other school. And it's so heartwarming when they come back to say thank you, because that's truly what they remember and what they miss the most of St. Joseph High School.
I think St. Joseph is different than many other schools because of the community that it provides. I think it's just a great place to come, whether you're a student, teacher, staff member. They just create a great community that feels like a family and getting everybody pulling in the same way towards the development of the students.
I know every school says they're a family. I know every school says that. But as a graduate myself, those guys and girls I went to school with, whether I see them every weekend still, or if I haven't seen them in like 15 years, it's just the next day. It's as if we saw each other, yesterday.
Okay, so if you're comparing St. Joe's to other high schools, especially the parochial schools, I would say one of their biggest things is their diversity. And that's something you should embrace, because in the real world, that's what society is. We're made up of all different people. And I know for my oldest son, I still remember in 8th grade sitting in the hallway, and he said one of the reasons he wanted to come here was because of the diversity. And out of his mouth, he said, because that's what the real world is. And so what makes St. Joe's different is that they teach kids acceptance. They teach kids respect for others and to listen to others, and that this is really important, to listen to different points of views other than your own, because everybody thinks their opinion is the right one. But here at St. Joe's, because you have a diverse population, you can learn from each other.
St. Joe's means a compassionate community that is always going to help you and always going to make sure that you are on the right path for success.
Teachers will call you by your first name and like get to know you, and then they will teach you not only their subject but how to like be a better person and how to be respectful. And it just works in students from every walk of life into one big family, and we have a lot of fun that way.
One of the things about how kids treat each other is, I think, unique to St. Joe's. I always marvel at, freshmen in the class, sophomores in the classroom with juniors and seniors, freshmen playing on teams with juniors and seniors, and you wouldn't, you don't really know by class who's who. So everyone really gets along well, and it's sort of a unique kind of a place that way.
I think St. Joe's is different from other schools in how diverse we are. We are economically diverse. We are religiously diverse. We have such a holistic sense of diversity at work here at St. Joe's. And I've worked in other schools, and it really is something pretty unique to St. Joe's, I think.
The diversity here, is something special, and it's too bad that a school like this can't continue, because that diversity teaches you guys more about the real world than a lot of the things that we can teach you. Understanding how to deal with people who are different from you, and understanding differences and appreciating differences. It goes a long way when you get into the real world.
Okay, so St. Joe's is a Lasallian school, and so a Lasallian order says that any child that wants a Catholic education should be entitled to one. And so St. Joe's encapsulates that, because they take any child, no matter their race, their color, socioeconomic status, and they take them and they make them feel accepted here and welcomed. And that's not an easy thing to do. Being a teacher myself, it is hard, and St. Joe's has really bottled that. Everybody that walks through that door feels special. And the Lasallian way of teaching is that you teach them the academics, you guide them through their spiritual learning, and make them be the best person they can be for life. And St. Joe's does that, because they not only teach them that, but they have this other special thing. They teach them life skills. They teach them respect for others. They teach them empathy, which sounds really easy and that everybody should do that, but it really isn't. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. And something special about St. Joe's is that here at school, you can tell as a parent when you come to different outings, either sporting events or open houses, kids see kids just for being kids, not what they look like, what zip code they come from, or what their backgrounds are. They just see them as kids coming here to learn. And so I truly believe St. Joe's has embraced the Lasallian philosophy tenfold.
St. Joseph High School encapsulates Lasallian education in its prime most way. If you study what St. John Baptist de La Salle preached and how he taught in Reims back in France, and you encompass the entire student, that's what I like the best. You teach, and you teach not just educationally, but you round out the entire student. I think we do that here at St. Joseph High School. I think we try to do a student-by-student case. We have our traditions that encompass that. And yes, I think that we embody what his philosophy and what he wanted, what the Christian Brothers believe, and what I think education is all about. I think we've done that magnificently, and we should be proud of it.
When I think of the Lasallian education, the foremost, I live Jesus in our hearts, and I see a community that lives that value.
Lasallian education to me means you're helping everybody. And everybody here goes out of their way, even the students, they go out of the way for each other and even for their faculty. We're all on the same level here, and I feel like we all hold that LaSallian education in all of our daily actions every single day. One thing I always notice about people when they come back to thank us is, thank you for accepting me, and thank you for welcoming me, because I wasn't welcomed at X, Y, and Z. And I feel that sense of welcome here is something that people never will forget.
For me, I always like to highlight the social justice teachings of the LaSallian tradition. We value the life and dignity of every person. And I hope that we have embodied that here at St. Joe's.
We take everybody. Everyone has value, and we help them find it. We see in everybody that everyone is worthy of love and a chance, and we did that every day of our careers.
Describe St. Joe's in one word.
One word.
Special.
Awesome.
You know what, I'm going to go with community. I've heard it used family. That seems to be the first, and that's nice. But I think we're more of a communal. I think we look out for one another. We protect one another.
St. Joe's in one word, family. And if you want me to explain why, it has been like that for decades. My husband is a proud 1984 graduate, and I was not. I went to public school, but he will say it was the same St. Joe's back then as is now. Everybody's one big family atmosphere. Everybody has each other's backs.
Family. Like I kept saying, everyone knows each other here. And if I saw them on the street, I could recognize them and know that they're a Charger.
I hear this word all the time, and people always make it sound like a cliche, but it's not. Here it's not. It's family is the word I would use. I've never imagined a relationship with students like I have. And it just gives it a very family orientation.
I'd say love. People loved it here, and you know, anyone who had anything to do with it, they come back year after year, and that would be my word.
Special in its own way.
Home. This is home.
Family. I say family because St. Joe's is a family. We all stick together. You know, we may have our ups and downs, but in the end, you'll never see like one of us like turn our backs on one another. We're always here to support each other. Even the alumni that come back, they're always, you know, here to help out, you know, anything Joe's related, because that's where they come from. Like, you know, we bleed Charger red. It's the same, St. Joe's, once a Charger, always a Charger. There will always be Chargers, and we'll always have each other's back. So I believe that, you know, it's a family. We're together always.
The impact of the school, I think, will be greatest on the students, the seniors that are graduating. This is, you know, they won't have an alma mater, so to speak. The juniors won't have their senior year at St. Joseph High School. I probably feel the worst for them. And our current freshmen and sophomores, great kids. I think they'll rebound and they'll end up at, you know, other great schools and all that good stuff. But it'll have an impact from our first graduating class in 1964 all the way to the kids who tested who weren't unable to come here because of the closing of the school.
For me, I feel bad for the students mostly because this place was a part of you. You know, I never went to Joe's. For me, this was a place of employment. It became much more than that as I worked here. You know, I never thought I'd be as connected to individuals the way I was here. You know, the last place I taught, you showed up, you taught, you went home. You know, there was no sense of family like you have here at Joe's. You know, I feel bad for all the graduates because a part of you guys is now not going to be there anymore. So that's where I feel worst about is everyone who's came through either these doors or the North Building's doors. You know, that part of you is now gone.
I worry about my students. I'm envious of all the teachers that are going to get you. I want it to be me. How selfish, right? There are teachers out in this world who don't know how fortunate they are, the gifts that they are going to receive through this summer and next year, and how you and all the other charges are going to impact them and make them feel good. Because, Jimmy, I've been very lucky. I've been very fortunate. I make no bones about it. You, my students, have been more important to me than I have been to them. You have made me think my life is important, that I actually made a difference. I go to bed, I sleep well at night, knowing I gave my best, and I'm inspired by that because my students do that. It's not, and I'm not the only teacher in the classroom, not the only teacher in the classroom. Your students will do that to you also.
I think just like most people in the building, I'm really sad. I've gotten very used to saying goodbye. I usually only have to say goodbye to the seniors and maybe a couple teachers. And now I have to say goodbye to everybody. I have to say goodbye to, I teach freshmen, so I have to say goodbye to the freshmen that I just met 8-9 months ago. I have to say goodbye to coworkers who I've worked with for 5 years.
This place made me who I am. So it's a loss. It's like losing a family member. But I can tell myself that St. Joseph isn't this building. We all know that we've been in 2 buildings over the years. That's not what makes the school, the school, it's us. It's all of us. It's the students, it's the teachers, it's the lunch ladies, it's everybody. It's crushing that I won't see my friends every day. But we will catch up, and we'll always have this connection.
Kind of hard on me because me just coming in for the first year, I thought I was gonna stay here for 4 years, but then, we got the news, and then now I have to go transfer and stuff.
I was devastated. This is my home, and this is where I see myself for all 4 years. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. I feel very bad for our teachers because they deserve more than what they're getting, and also for all the students that really did find their everlasting home.
As a teacher who used to teach in a Catholic school myself, I feel very sad because it's another Catholic school that's closing its doors. As a Westchester resident that's lived here for 25 years, it's sad because it's an institution that's been here for 61 years and no longer will it be here. And it won't be an option for other parents. And I feel like another option's been taken away. It's limiting the amount of schools that are available for them. As a parent, it's heartbreaking. For my oldest son, he's already out of school, and it's sad. But for my son who's currently here and his junior year and having to start all over his senior year, it's heart-wrenching. I don't even know how to explain it, because my boys have given their lives to this school. They were very involved. They always volunteered. They worked functions. They were involved in everything you can think of here. And I was hoping to have the same thing happen for my daughter. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So I guess the hardest thing is a parent to see my junior go through this devastating thing and not know the right thing to say or to do to comfort him. I know we'll get through it because Chargers are strong and we'll get through it, but it just won't be the same. Nowhere you go will it be as the same as St. Joe's. And I don't know how to explain it, but it just won't be. It's almost like you're mourning the loss of a dear, dear family member.
Here's the tears. It's been hard. I think what I'll miss the most is the relationships with the students, the faculty who have become friends, the parents who have become friends. It's been hard. But I think, as I said before, our students and our families, they're resilient. They're going to embody St. Joseph High School outside of these walls, and I'm confident in that.